Anyway, there's this full moon in Scorpio right here happening, and all kinds of shit's hitting all kinds of fans, which is fine with me. I'm not really into that whole manure spreading scene of shit hitting fans. But I really, you know, I like to get along with people. I have Mars in Libra, which essentially means that it does. I mean, this is how I am. I like to get along with people. I'm easygoing, kind of sloppy, you know. How you doing? You know, put my arms around people, and then people say I have no boundaries because I can get up close and I don't have personal boundaries. I can get really close to people really easily, you know. Just because I don't know why. That's just how it is, you know. I don't have personal boundaries, so people have to set boundaries for me, and I'm fine with them usually. Not always, but sometimes I just forget, you know, because I don't really see them. I don't see the boundaries lots of times, and the boundaries are just like I don't know. You know, well, so I can see by the way you look and the way you feel and the sounds that you're making that you're thinking this thing or that thing, you know, that you're, you know, whatever, something's going on. And then if you say that, then they say, oh, you're so paranoid, you're so crazy, you're just making that up in your head, and you know. So I think that when people try to make you doubt your perceptions about the things that you say or things that you perceive, you know, I think that that's really what they call gaslighting, is when people try to dissuade you from talking about things that you're perceiving. You know, like I've sensed that this is going on. You know, it's like with my sisters and brothers, for example. There was, you know, lots of incidents, and I will pick one out of many. This is just one incident where, and it's not that I don't love my sisters, I do, but this is just facts. One time I was over at Maggie's house, and I'm a little boisterous. I'm a little bit rowdy. I am. I'm rowdy. You know, I'm a little bit rough sometimes. But I like to think, I mean, I'm gentle. I don't want to hurt anybody. It's not that I don't want to hurt people. That's not part of my makeup. I like people to be happy, you know, around me. I don't want to see people in pain. I like to go out of my way to help them out of pain if they're in it. You know, can I help you? Can I get you something? Can I, you know, you want to talk about it? I mean, I'm really accommodating people to not have them be in pain, because it really bothers me. I you know, I'm not apathetic, but I am indifferent, because I can't constantly be jerked around by other people's feelings. But this one time, and I apologize, Maggie, but this is a story that really kind of says it all for me. I was at my sister's house, and I was like, yeah, you know, just grabbing her and tickling her, you know, kind of tickling her. She goes like, ow, and she had fibromyalgia, and she was in pain, so I stopped, right? So a few maybe weeks later, everybody's over at my other sister's house, and I'm by myself, as usual, over at, you know, at my parents' house, and everybody everybody comes back to my parents' house. I guess it was a holiday or something. Everybody was around. Everybody goes back to my parents' house, and my nieces and nephews come up to me. You know, they were little. They were like, I don't know, 6 or something like that. They come up to me with their eyes wide, and they go, "You hurt Maggie." And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And I guess that she told people that I had hurt her. And that's ridiculous. I'm not that kind of person. I don't try to hurt people. You know, I'm the kind of person that I end up hurting myself, so I don't hurt people. And that's just, it's not fair to me. It's not fair. You know, then I bite my tongue because I don't want to cause trouble, or I don't want to, you know, hurt people's feelings if I bring it up that this bothered me. You know, people can make up things that bother them and make me look like a total idiot, and that's fine, you know. But me, I can't say, oh, I didn't like that. I didn't like it when you did that. Like, well, what are you talking about? You don't, you have, like, I have no right to say anything. You know, if I don't like somebody's attitude toward me or behavior toward me, I don't have to like it, you know. And for me, I did end up leaving the country and going to Canada because I just needed to feel at ease. I'm not the kind of person I can lay out, you know, I mean, I grew up, my father was a caretaker on an estate. That's not my fault. That's just how my life panned out. My father was a caretaker on the estate, so I had acres of open woods and fields and, you know, rivers and things to just roam around on all by myself, and I just roamed around by myself all the time. My parents trusted me, and they didn't mind that I did that, and I never felt neglected, you know, just because that's how our understanding. I mean, people could come now and say, oh, your parents were so neglectful of you, or they were so this and that and the other thing, and they could say that, but that's not how I perceived it as a child. The only thing that used to trouble me was feeling that I disappointed people in any way. I like to do things well. I'm a people pleaser, I am, big time. You know, and that's also my South Node in Libra, which is now we've gone into my North Node in Aries, because the Aries Chiron has entered Aries, which is a healing factor, but that's astrology. It's a different story altogether. But anyway, so for me, I'm just basically, you know, wide open spaces and easy going, you know. So when I get around people who are not that way, they perceive me as some kind of like threat, you know, like I'm just, I'm all over the place, you know. And kind of in a sense I am, and people misinterpret it lots of times, and they think that, you know, it's like that scene in the movie Nell, when she also grew up in the woods, you know, kind of like me. But bad communication skills too. But when she first goes into the bar and she hears the music and she's dancing and she's just enjoying the music so much, and the guys all think that it's a sexual come on, and they start, like, you know, groping her or stuff like that, and she's you know, the doctor gets her out of there, whatever it was, but she wasn't really intending that. She was just responding to the music authentically. I mean, so there's really segments of society where, when you're actually in touch with your feelings and responding to things the way they are, that's just like considered to be like the worst possible thing. Oh, you could fucking murder people, fine, you know, or you could, you know, just do all kinds of horrible things, but if you actually display any kind of real emotion or, you know, whatever, that's just taboo. Anyway, so I could rant about this forever. You know, for me, I think of, you know, the River Song, for example, which Charlie wrote. A tree, you know, a tree by the river in the afternoon, taking my time, all the flowers and trees are in bloom. I don't know what anybody else is doing, but I'm kind of dirty. I don't know, whatever. But it's a song about being a kid and being in the river and feeling easy about life, and life feels really good. And for me, that's like almost in my natural state. You know, that's how I grew up when I was a kid. My dad didn't, you know, molest me, or my dad didn't, you know, reprimand me in any really horrible way. He gave me lots of freedom. You know, he told me that I could do what I wanted to do, and I did. I did what I wanted to do, and when I did something wrong, I took the consequences of the thing that I did that was wrong. My parents trusted me. They trusted me to look after my sisters and brothers. They never hurt themselves, except Roberta one time. You know, she's running down the hill. Well, she's like a year and a half, something like that. So that would make me like 5 something. So she's running down the hill, which is paved, and I'm running after her. She's going, you know, little toddler. She's running full. She just takes off like that. So I'm running after her, shouting, "Roberta, no, Roberta!" You know, red light. So she falls and she cuts her head, and I'm sure she still has the scar. She cuts her head on a pipe. You know, and it was a ceramic pipe that was sticking, a drain pipe, out from the wall, so that the water would drain from the wall, whatever, out of the wall. But anyway, so she cut her head and she bled profusely. and I had to pick her up and carry her back up to the house where the adults were, and I got in a lot of trouble because she hurt herself, you know, and I was covered in blood, and I was disgraced because I had not stopped her from hurting herself, you know. So, I mean, I can go on and on with stories about my life like this. It's like I don't really appreciate being vilified and told that I am mentally ill when the things that I do are not really, there's nothing wrong with the things I do. The things I do are healthy and sane. A lot of the things that the people do who criticize me don't look very sane to me. They look totally fucking demented. I mean, seriously. You know, some of the things that people do are, I'm like, okay, you know, you keep doing that because you're going to get what you're, you know, what you're headed for. I mean, if you're looking for trouble, you're going to find it, basically. You know, and I don't want trouble. I'm not, you know, I'm a lover, not a fighter. I make a great friend. I mean, I have friends on Facebook who I've known for, you know, since I was in kindergarten, you know, and a lot of people that I've known since they were, before they were born. I mean, I knew their parents. I mean, I've known a lot of people for a lot of times. They know me. They know my character. They know that I'm trustworthy. And yet I'm getting these feedbacks from people saying that I'm, like, untrustworthy and that I'm, you know, all kinds of, like, really weird stuff. And I just have had enough of it. I'm tired of being looked at as some kind of lunatic, you know, when these people who are labeling me are really not all that, like, who the fuck are you kidding? You think that you can criticize me? Well, take a look at yourself, basically, is what it boils down to. You know, so this is my full moon in Scorpio message for today. And I have moon in Taurus, so I guess it gives it a little extra power. But, I don't want to take any more crap from people. I really don't. And I want to go back in time and find out a lot of the things that people have done to me that I suspected they might have done, but I didn't want to think negatively about that person. I didn't want to think like that. I'm like, that person wouldn't do that. Like, that's a horrible thing for you to think that that person would do that to you. I mean, isn't that like paranoid, you know? Well, I always say things like that to myself, you know, when it's obvious and they're laughing at you while they're doing it, you know? I mean, I'm tired, you know, basically. I'm going to talk about this some more, but I'm going to go eat something right now because I'm burning up the calories. I'll talk to you later, folks.